If you've never heard of Bansko, Bulgaria, well, I don't blame you. Although it is Bulgaria's top ski resort, it is not that well known outside of Bulgaria itself. But we didn't come to Bansko for the skiing. We had completely different reasons for wanting to come here, and I'll be discussing those reasons in this video. I'll also tell you why we decided to come here in the summer, even though it is one of the least popular times to come to Bansko. We'll also let you know why we decided to come back 2 summers in a row, and tell you if we plan to come back again every summer in the future. My name is Ryan, my wife Emily and I are the Snail Travelers. The nature. As my wife and I get older, for whatever reason, we have become more and more enthusiastic about spending time outdoors in nature. I don't know, maybe it's because we both had jobs that required us to be inside all day. Bansko has no shortage of nature, let me tell you. In just a few minutes walk from the town, you can be experiencing some beautiful hiking trails. These trails are so quiet and peaceful, surrounded by beautiful trees and forest, crisscrossing over many different creeks and streams. And since the ski slopes are without snow during the summer, these provide some fantastic hiking opportunities as well, and the opportunity to imagine how fun it would be to go skiing or sledding here in the winter. Our favorite hike is in the area surrounding Bansko. It's a trail that heads to 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 Lake. It takes us about an hour and a half to get to the lake from the trailhead, but as you can see here, the scenery is stunning. I mean, just look at this here. It is well worth the effort of getting there, don't you think? Now, there are 3 ways you can reach the trailhead. We chose to take the shuttle van from Bansko because it is the least strenuous way to get there, allowing us to save our energy for the hike. A second way to get there is on the gondola, but I don't know, we thought the gondola is a little overpriced, over $20 compared to $5 for the shuttle van, and then another hour and a half or so of extra walking to get to the trailhead. And if you're really adventurous, you can walk all the way there from Bansko itself, but it's going to add at least 6 hours to your hiking day, and you better have bodybuilder type leg muscles if you plan to do that. It is steep. There are so many more hikes in the area, I can't tell you about all of them, but this is one of our favorite reasons to be in Bansko in the summer. The weather. This is the #1 reason we came to Bansko in the summer. The pleasant weather definitely topped our list. If you've been following our story here on YouTube, then you know that we currently live in Izmir, Turkey, and the summers there are so stinking hot. A typical summer day in Izmir can be 40 or hotter. That's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for Americans. In Izmir, we get up at 5 a.m. to walk, then spend the rest of the day in our living room. We even sleep on the floor in the living room because that's the only room with air conditioning. And around mid-July, we just say, "Get me out of here." And that's when we planned our last-minute trip to Bansko. The average high temperature here in Bansko in July is 26 Celsius or 78 Fahrenheit. And in the mornings, we get that cool, crisp mountain air with an average low of 14 Celsius or about 57 Fahrenheit. What a relief. So yeah, let me copy and paste what I said earlier. The weather is the #1 reason why we love Bansko in the summer. Activities. So I already told you about our favorite activity here in Bansko, which is hiking on the trails in the area. What if you hate hiking and the idea of spending hours exhausting yourself just to look at a lake or a mountain just doesn't appeal to you? Well, don't worry, there are plenty of other activities to choose from. We noticed a lot of people enjoying horseback riding. This is especially fun for children and for families looking for something that is a little less strenuous. We noticed a lot of cyclists in the area, both bicycling on the roads and also mountain biking as well. There are ATV excursions where a guide will lead you around to the appropriate areas to have fun with this activity. And the list goes on and on, as you can see from this brochure here. And remember, these are just summer activities. And if you add in the skiing and all of that stuff if you're here in the winter, well, you're not going to get bored here. Let me just put it that way. Now, in addition to all of the activities, there is also an abundance of festivals and special events going on all summer. Just look at the list. Opera festivals, folk festivals, there's a marathon, there's a nomad festival in the early part of the summer, which is especially popular with remote workers and full-time travelers. We especially enjoyed the jazz festival. Even though we're not really music people, it was still a terrific amount of fun for us. Prices. So, you probably know that ski resorts have a reputation for being exceptionally expensive. But remember, we're in Bulgaria here, not Switzerland or Colorado. Not only are prices lower by international standards, but the whole point of this video is about experiencing Bansko in the summer, which is a less popular time to come compared to winter, and that keeps the prices even more reasonable. We stayed in the same apartment building both times we came to Bansko. This particular unit would rent for about $700 per month on Airbnb in the summer, about $1,700 per month in the winter ski season, and all the way down to $300 or $400 per month for a long-term lease. When we first arrived in our apartment, we were greeted by a stuffed dog named Wawa. We found a very sad-looking sheep hanging from one of the lights, his cousin on a shelf in the living room, and a picture that was up so high on the wall that we didn't even notice it until it was time to leave. We loved having the windows open day and night to enjoy the cool weather. And one time I went into the bathroom to find a very friendly cat that decided it wanted to live here. It had come in through the open window, and after a while its owner figured out what happened and came up to our apartment to get the cat. Food prices are reasonable. One of Bulgaria's biggest supermarket chains has a store here, and if you're familiar with the German grocery store chain called Lidl, you can find that in the neighboring town called Roslaug, just a few minutes away. Our total spending for our 1-month stay this past summer came out to be $1,159 for the two of us, and I'll put our sample budget for a long-term stay down in the description below. Before I go to the next section of the video, I think it's important to tell you a little bit about purchasing property here. And the reason I think that's important is because the real estate market here in Bansko is very unique. There was a huge amount of construction here just before the 2008 global financial crisis, and even now, so many years later, there is an oversupply of properties available. This means two things. One, there are a lot of abandoned apartment buildings around town, as you can see here. And two, prices to buy a small apartment are extremely reasonable. I can't think of any other ski resort in the world where you can buy a studio or a small one-bedroom apartment for less than $40,000. Overall, we think Bansko is a great value for either a short-term or for a long-term stay, and it's definitely one of the main reasons we chose to come here. Quickfire categories. So those are the 4 main reasons why we decided to come to Bansko in the summer: the nature, the weather, activities, and the prices. But let me give you just a few more reasons. Number 5, the peace and quiet. Even when there are festivals going on, the population is just a fraction of what it is in the winter ski season. In fact, our apartment shared a floor with 6 other units, and they were all empty the entire time, and we slept so good at night because it was so quiet. Number 6 is walkability. You don't need a car if you stay in the central part of Bansko. There are sidewalks on every street, and it's easy to walk anywhere you want to go. Number 7 is safety, nothing to worry about. And number 8 is communication. Because this is a resort town, most of the local people speak some English. And finally, number 9, the ease of getting there. This might not apply to you, but because we live in Turkey, we can get here on an overnight train that runs between Istanbul and Sofia, which allows us to get here without having to fly. So there you have it, all the reasons why we think you would enjoy Bansko and why we decided to come back here for 2 summers in a row. So, will we come here every summer? Well, probably not every summer because we do like exploring new places, but we definitely see ourselves coming back to Bansko multiple times in the future. Yes, Bansko is that fabulous in our opinion. Hey, if you tap on that playlist you see on the screen there, you can see our collection of videos from other destinations around the world. Here's a video about Sofia, Bulgaria to check out. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for traveling with us.